All right, this is Todd. We've been trying to get this on Facebook Live, but we're having struggles with Wi-Fi. We're here in Hawaii on vacation in Oahu, and we've been staying down in Honolulu, but we wanted to get out of all the concrete and everything and looking for some good whiskeys and bourbons. It's been kind of a struggle here in Hawaii. They have a lot of rums, but I found one online that's the name of the distillery
It's Oahu Distilling.
and this is Justin, and he works here for the distillery, and they have a very unique whiskey that they make right here at their distillery. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I'd like to tell you about our whiskey, and I'll show you real quick. So it's a beautiful bottle. If you think about whiskey across the world, this isn't your typical whiskey bottle. Most whiskey you'll find is a dark whiskey that comes in a clear bottle with a black, brown, or gray label with a duck, horse, dog, or cowboy on it. That's not what we're about here in Hawaii. We're about a nice tropical lifestyle, something beautiful. So here you go, we have the Old Pali Road whiskey. Our whiskey is what's called a bourbon mash, and I'm just alluding to you the fact that we have a very high corn content in our whiskey. We're 90% corn, 10% two-row malted barley, and we're super lucky here in Hawaii because our water source is some of the purest water in the world. If you think about where our water comes from, it's the water cycle out in the ocean. Then when it rains in the Oahu Mountains, our namesake, it takes about 28 years before it's accessible in the aquifers that we draw our water from. That gives us a mineralized water that's excellent for mashing and making any type of whiskey or beer. Also excellent for proofing because we come in around 8.32 pH, which is fairly neutral. So it's pretty much an alkaline water source. So as we have to proof our whiskey down, we have a really, really smooth finish.
You mentioned proofing your whiskey down, and you guys have been doing this for how many years?
Just under 4 years.
Just under 4 years. Have you dabbled into maybe like a cask strength or a higher proof?
We've done a few test runs with that, and we're looking at that. Our newest line of bourbon that's going to come out this December, it's going to be a super small batch, probably about 700 bottles. So feel free to follow us, like us, so that when the announcement comes, you could get your reservation in. It'll probably be about the only bourbon here in Hawaii, honestly, and that's going to come in, I believe, at 93 proof.
Oh, okay, good.
So we're definitely trying to move it up there, but right now this is our flagship brand, and it's really, really popular.
Now, how would you recommend most people drink this? With neat, with an ice cube, an old fashioned, or?
Well,
whatever?
first I'll say, let's not take it too seriously. Just enjoy it, because any way you like to drink whiskey is the right way to drink whiskey.
Exactly.
Outside of that, it's a warm climate, so it works fine neat. If you want to throw a little bit of water in there, feel free to. Just get to where you want to drink it.
So the owners of the distillery, how did they really kind of get into this?
Well, like I said, as they were looking for retirement, they had looked at a few business plans that worked out. But turns out one of Eric's former Marines, when he got out, he went to law school, and after becoming a fully barred lawyer, decided that was cool and opened a distillery. If you've ever heard of Hotel Tango, Travis over there, excellent guy, really kind of helped Eric and Ian along the way in opening their own distillery. Kind of gave them the keys to the kingdom, let them know all the tricks of the trade and how to properly start their own distillery. So get a chance, swing on over to the store and grab a bottle of Old Pali Road and Hotel Tango.
Ah, cool. I have seen it out at the I haven't really been able to find liquor stores, but a lot of the supermarkets, Safeway, I think, was it Food?
Foodland.
Foodland,
Yes.
yep. I've seen they've had ABC stores. They've got all those and the rums and everything. There's tons of rums, but I may have seen this in the Hotel Tango. I recognize that right away as a military phonetic alphabet. It's probably got some veterans that are doing this. But no, this is really cool. Anything else that you may want to put out there?
And as you find your way in Hawaii, be sure to come check us out. We give tours almost daily, with the exception of Sundays and Tuesdays when we're closed on Tuesdays. Addition to that, when you do come do your tour, you'll get a tasting, a whiskey tasting, a chocolate tasting. You'll get to bottle your own bottle of whiskey and take that home if you'd like to purchase it. And I will give you probably the most in-depth tour that you've had at a distillery or brewery. That just comes from, we have not a long history, so we want to actually share something real valuable, and that's the science of how we make our whiskey.
Yeah. Is that something you can share with us, kind of here for our video.
And just a brief rundown, this is a very versatile still. It is not currently in operation. We have great aspirations to have it done by the end of this year, but this is a still that we can make a straight whiskey as you come from this one dome here all the way over to our condenser. We can make a vodka or a grain neutral spirit utilizing all these boiler plates and that deflagonator up there, which is actually a temperature controlling device that will help us raise the proof of the alcohol as it goes through. We'll cool it and that'll make it more potent. And we're also dabbling in the gin. This will allow us to make gin off botanicals, which means the distillate will pass through the steam basket right there and pick up all those.
You guys are really branching out.
Yes, by the end of the year, we will have the bourbon and a moonshine. Our moonshine will be called Maheolani, which is actually the full moon phase in Hawaii. And it's going to be a really cool DIY experiment where you get to take infusion packets that we will offer to you and infuse your own moonshine with whatever flavors you want. Then you can proof it down any way you want to.
Moonshine has gotten very, very popular. We went and did a moonshine tour last summer through Tennessee and Gatlinburg and the Ozarks and Branson, and it is really, really gotten popular. And a lot of them, I don't know, it's the definition of moonshine isn't what you really think. Some of them are, some of them are kind of a sugar shine.
Moonshine is technically any illegally produced beverage, so
Right.
that's more of a marketing thing.
Yeah,
What we're really talking about is white dog or new make whiskey, but the trouble I have when I discuss this with people is they don't know those terms very well.
Mhm.
But if I speak in a language that my customer knows, it's usually a little easy. So if I say moonshine, people think white lightning, that clear
Yeah.
new make whiskey. So.
All right, unless there's anything else, I think what we're gonna do is, Julie is there behind the camera. We're gonna probably discuss a few more things and get to know Justin a little better and some of the other things that are coming out and go from there. But thanks for joining us, and we'll place this up on YouTube. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we
No,
shut off here?
we just need to say aloha, thank you, and shout out, give him a big old shaka. You do shaka, right, brother? There you
Yeah,
go.
all right.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.